Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this Town and Community Committee meeting, 27th of February. Item 1 on the agenda is apologies for absence. I've received apologies today from Councillor Eggleton. Have we had any more? Oh, no. Excellent. Yeah, item 2, declarations of interest. See none. Okay. Item 3, public participation. I see none. Item 4, minutes to approve the minutes of the Town and Community Committee meeting held on the 23rd of January 2024. We did have one point of clarification on these myself, item 70, where it says Hop Gardens to be added to the road closure application for this year's Christmas festival. Just to clarify, it's not a road closure, it's just the entrance from Gravel Hill will be closed, making it one way. So it'll be open from the other direction. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else have any corrections on that? All those in favour? Thank you. Little 2 is to note the minutes of the meeting of events subcommittee held on the 6th of February 2024. Comments, corrections on those?
Yep, I was there. This is all just accurate reflection.
Okay. Votes and no votes or just?
Yes.
All those in favour? Thank you. Item 5, police to receive an update report from our local neighbourhood team. Yes, they've not joined.
Were they due to attend?
They were asked to attend but couldn't, but they have put in a meeting date in March, 27th of March, to go through policing priorities.
Yeah.
So there's a meeting in the diary.
It's understandable that they might be too busy to attend. I'm sure they've got other things to do. It's just nice to have an update.
Yeah, it is.
We always ask.
Yeah, I know.
Also,
And a
worth
CCTV update as well. It's
pointing
always
out
nice.
that the meeting to discuss the PCSO funding is currently scheduled for this Friday. We are engaged with the police, they're just not here tonight. Okay, item 6 is the communications manager update. One thing to highlight from here that we managed to get nearly 400 people playing adventure golf during the break, so that was really well worth starting. Nancy Hinton?
Yeah, I think all of this is great progress. It's nice to have a really full update from the communications manager. I would just add that I know that Daisy has also worked on a few mayoral things, like the invitation stuff, the civic dinner, and had input on things like that. So just wanted to add that. Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Great update.
Any other comments? Okay. We noted them. Danger of breaking a record here, Ken.
It's okay.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Just invited me to go.
I can see. Yeah, Councillor Candy.
So I meant to say, it's really great that we've got an All Things Green page to share environmental projects. So that's, I've noted that we're already talking about Great Big Green Week. So that's really, really encouraging. So yeah, thanks. Just need to put some things in there now.
Thank you very much. Item 7 is the town centre manager update. Paul is with us at the moment. Do you have anything to add or just the report?
No, just nothing more.
Okay. Councillor Hinton.
Again, another full update, and it's great to see. I was just wondering, and whether this is the best place to bring it up, I'm not sure, but it would be nice to know sort of our accessibility factor as a town. It'd be nice to know how accessible we are. Things like dropped curbs and things like that, because I think, and also when we're, how accessible it is to get from the station to the town and things like that. So it would be great to start some sort of review on that or assessment.
Yeah, I'll look into that.
I would certainly like to push that as a town council, because I currently don't believe that we are as accessible as we could be, and I think that if we were, particularly when we've got fantastic accessible facilities down at Mill Meadows, like the toilet itself is it's fantastic, but the bench golf is obviously really accessible. It would be great to make sure it's accessible to actually get there from town by foot or by wheelchair, so.
Okay, yeah, we'll have a look at that.
So some very narrow pavements around as well.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, so with the A boards, there's been a difference of improvement, some businesses have just seem to ignore it.
yeah.
So,
I
what else we can do?
I am doing an assessment as we go on. I'm seeing who's kind of come in line and who hasn't. And then I'll take the time to go and speak to them individually,
Great stuff.
rather than, I just thought I'd give it a little bit of time since I wrote to them, just to see who complies and who doesn't.
Fair.
But yeah, there's a few I've got on my list already. I'm going to have a nice chat.
Well, thank you. Councillor
Thank you.
Hunt.
With regards to the ATM, I know the one-off cost of 1,200, well, it's disappointing, it's probably reasonable that we pay that in the interim to make sure there is access. What are the running costs, cost of making sure the machine is actually full, presumably has to be serviced?
Yeah, so this, originally when I wrote this last week, this was just for June and for July and August, so kind of period when the regattas and stuff like that's on. If we want to do it for longer than that, which perhaps would like to take it in for the May fair, so May, June, July, August, it would be an increased cost. But apart from that cost, there's the company itself makes their money from transactions.
So
So
they
per
would be a
transaction.
free ATM.
It's free to use,
Okay,
but they make their money on transactions. So the only cost is running the installation, that would be the only cost to us. And then they service it, they come in, fill it with money, look after it, etc. So it's something I think is very much needed. This is kind of a kind of step towards a permanent solution, which I'm also working on. But I can report about that eventually. But I'm looking at the options initially to solve the kind of events problem that we have. Which is,
What would it actually look like? Is it a vehicle?
now, I actually did print off a piece, something just to bring to the meeting. And it's they call it pod. And it looks like that, and you can also, you can want to pass that around. It looks like that, and it's,
Okay.
and it can be, it's a 2 ATM thing. It can be.
Like the one at,
Before I-
I suppose it is a form of
It's-
convenience.
It can be branded in any way you choose.
Yeah.
And I thought
and
the,
tell us.
I thought the idea would we could also use it as part of the kind of Visit Emily branding thing. So Daisy is going to work up.
They look like the ones similar to them, like the NatWest ones at Reading Station.
So, you know, it's 2 meter block, it weighs 2 tons. Can't be moved. Extremely difficult to break. And they're serviced, you know, you can't really do an ATM much smaller than that. Because you have to allow access for them to service it 24 hours a day. So that's the kind of thing we're looking at.
Perfect.
I think if it could be extended to the May fair, that would be ideal, because that was probably where I heard the most complaints about there being no cash points. It wasn't actually at the May fair, you
Yeah.
overheard it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have to complain myself.
Everyone was talking
Sainsbury's
People
one
finding
wasn't
about cash anywhere, so I think it's really important to do have it for the May as well.
I'd like that as well, yeah. Yeah, so they have tried extremely hard to find this company because basically the ATM for events business has gone down the drain. So all of the people who were servicing festivals and etc. with cash machines, all of the festivals pretty much all gone cashless. So there's no need for them. So the big company that was doing it went to the wall, but then this company bought all of their stuff and it's really got a niche market now. So I managed to find this company and they're based in Ireland. They seem really good. So, yeah, we do have a solution.
Where would it be located?
Well, I've got an idea to put it at the this end of Marketplace. Because it's very public area, it's pedestrianised. Found a little spot towards the top, and it will be assessed by them as a safe and secure place as well. So,
Okay.
Do we have any feel, because Regatta, I remember talking to Lloyd's Bank, and they had to fill it up, I mean, it was emptying sort of thousands every hour. I imagine Regatta is very much more cards than cash.
The event itself, or
Yeah.
Yes,
people in
yeah.
town still have.
Yeah, I think it's in the town where you will need it.
Need for cash.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not sure if the gaffer is not officially cashless, although, having said that, there might be places downriver.
Yes.
Where.
I think you spoke too soon.
They're filling it up.
I'm in no.
Normal, not mine.
Thank you, Paul, that's really good.
Yeah, so I'm pleased to have found a solution.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, it's not about ATMs, but I can say thank you for doing that research. Be really interested to see how that comes out. I think it's, for me, it's a question around, a couple of questions around so we've got a new Mac and phone, and I know we had a bit of discussion about the kind of American Candy store. Is it similar?
What?
Like the Mac and phone, because we were talking about just.
I don't know,
apps and
I think it's, I think they're not, I think the Mac and phone one is more like a, go and get your computer mended, and we do other stuff. You can buy other things in there as well.
Yeah.
The other store,
Like
the one which was in, you could, yeah, I think I saw a sign in the window saying you could vape, so I saw that.
How then are we trying to monitor or reduce, or some of the comments that we had in relation to the other kind of store?
I was contacted today actually by Lily, because the lady from Stocks is starting a campaign. I don't know if Paul's aware, or you might know more than I do about it. But there's certainly an increase, even WH Smith, Robert Dias have joined the bandwagon, they also sell, which is driving the price right down and making the price point really accessible for young people. The marketing is very bright, it's very definitely marketed towards a certain audience that isn't mature or adult really. So yeah, I don't know if that's a campaign that the town council might want to back. I'm not sure we'll have enough information about it yet, but
Single-use vapes were going to be banned on a national.
They are.
April.
but we have a problem also with all the stickers, so
Yeah.
all these stickers on the bins and the signposts and things like that.
It's
And
an
they're
actual
really hard to
problem.
remove, yeah,
It's
exactly.
everywhere.
That
It's
magically
not
go
just
away in
them.
April as well, I imagine.
Possibly, some of them.
Yeah.
Mr. Hunt can put a tax on it, so.
Just to be clear, it's a different Mr.
We don't have such powers.
Yeah, I suppose I raise it because it's just, we have talked about
Hunt.
these issues before in this meeting, and there's been a lot of reaction to it. So I just wonder, I don't know what we can do, but it would be good to see if there is something we can do.
Perhaps Lily can speak to Paul as well.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the answer is.
So-
Whilst there's people who like phones and like smoking, there will be vape shops with
This-
sell phones.
yeah. I think the problem also is that, is marketed towards a certain demographic that actually have never smoked. And so it's actually causing, it's a health situation as well. And then that is something that, although it's not our responsibility or perhaps our remit, it is something that we care about as our young people in our town. And how, what would.
About this lady, the Stocks lady.
The
Lowering
the
those.
single use vapes, obviously they don't follow, a lot of them don't follow the shop front guidance or anything, they're quite garish,
Okay.
belong perhaps more in a city than a local market town.
Because she has a shop in Marlow, doesn't she? As well, apparently. I don't know if they have similar problems in Marlow.
Maybe she's someone that we could reach out to and speak to more about it and see what the options are and see if there is any way that we as a town council could back, sorry, I should have been speaking to the chair. If there's any way we as a town council can help.
Certainly not something we want to encourage.
No,
Yeah, sorry, and I suppose it's, I'm not sure whether it fits better in this town centre manager update, but in a similar kind of line as councillor Hinton took around something to encourage as a whole, because I read here about the tourism strategy and wanting to drive footfall to Henley, absolutely, and more events happening as per the rest of the documentation. I think there's a really great opportunity here for us to strengthen the area around environmental sustainability when we do hold events. no matter where they are, but as and when they are held on Henley Town Council land or property. So yeah, I think there's a request from me here to look at how can we strengthen that and what does it mean to be an environmentally, to run an environmentally sustainable event. And perhaps that could be something that Sheridan could look at from a training perspective. Like, I think we could all appreciate some greater knowledge and greater learning as, you know, what does that look like and how can that apply to us?
Thank you.
Great.
Any further comments on the town centre manager's update? Seeing none, so we'll move along
Great.
to 8, finances. Consider the management accounts.
Haven't we got, it's, I think we've used it. Yes, I think we've put it together, haven't we? The numbers are wrong. It's budget,
Again?
23-24, I think, actual 23-24.
Apologies for that. I will chase up with Mercedes. She's producing the management accounts for January, which will be available next week. And I'll make sure that those headings are updated.
And the civic pride area seems to be slightly off.
Right.
There's to be no, unless we've done exceptionally well, we're hitting everything exactly on target. Doesn't quite seem possible.
We've only spent £262.
No, but it's also the second.
Definitely, yes.
All of it, there's no variance
Mm.
to any of it. It might be the case.
I can't think.
Mm.
Councillor Hoskins, sorry.
Apart from the 2022-23, can I just ask the question about the crime and antisocial behaviour expenses,
Yeah.
and also the economic development plans, both of which are below, in the case of economic development, quite considerably below the forecast against the budget. So is that, have we changed our plans, or have we just spent under? And if so, why? Because it seems to me the criminal and the crime and social behaviour expenses probably a significant one, and actually economic development action plan is going to be about a fifth of what is the budget, I think.
Councillor Riceman.
On the crime and antisocial behaviour expenses, I was wondering if the 8,000 is related to the PCSO decision that we haven't yet made. But that would then be 17. We have to do that before April the 1st, don't we? Which would mean
Yes.
that that will come out of this year's budget. Is that right?
No, so the agreement is for the coming year.
Oh, okay, right. So it can't be related to that.
Good spot, Tony.
I don't know. Do you have any insight on that?
I'd probably defer to Paul on this, but
On the economic development.
you mean economic development or the crime and
Well,
antisocial behaviour?
In both, to be honest.
Why there's an underspend, yeah.
Well, I know for sure that I've only been in this job at 12 months, and part of that 12 months was in the previous year. And getting to grips with where to spend this kind of budget properly it's taken a bit of time. And now I think in the October there was a budget report, and that detailed some of the ideas for spending some of this money. So certainly in the report in this attached to this piece of paper here is highlighting some way to spend it. So,
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely fantastic because there's a full report from the town centre manager with clear, improvements each town and community meeting. And so we're clearly still doing what we need to do.
Yeah.
And it's massively under budget, I think is great, actually. I mean, I don't think there's a real cause for concern there at all. If there had been no improvement or no,
Except what was the plan?
yeah,
And that the plan would indicate what the expenditure would be. And what I don't understand is why you're so low against the forecast against. And I accept the fact that you probably haven't been there long enough,
No.
but someone must put the plan in advance.
well, it's
Is there a
always
plan
been
for
done,
that
done
detail?
centre manager.
There are a couple of factors that would partially explain it. So crime and antisocial behaviour, the upgrade of the townwide CCTV from analog to digital has meant there's been a saving on that. So SODC basically bill us a proportion of their costs, and very honest to them, if their costs are lower than expected, they bill us less. And so last year, and it looks like this year, there have been savings. On the Economic Development Action Plan, there is an item from the balance sheet, which is the Shopfront Improvement Fund, which is about 3,500. That wasn't, that basically hasn't been spent, certainly since I've been here. And so the idea was that we remove that fund, and then that would basically show us income in the IMA against the Economic Development Action Plan, basically giving you more money for the Economic Development Action Plan.
So if you take into account the 3,500, that would be 7,500
Ish, yeah.
compared to 16,000. It's still less than 50%.
I think that Paul might have some plans for the coming year that will see the budget for the coming year certainly
You fully realise.
yeah, probably good.
That'll be good.
I think it's also quite dependent on SODC as well, because previously in the past, there's been quite a lot of partnership with SODC on the economic development front, because, you know, they have their department as well. But certainly there was a lot of withdrawal from that. There seemed to be a lot of, like, it's the SODC wise, I mean, not from us.
Yeah.
So I think, well, including the town centre manager role, it used to be half funded by SODC, and it's not anymore. So I think that, you know, we used to have a lot of plans, joint plans in place for economic development that aren't there now, and so it's even more for Paul to really get your head around when starting. But there's no set, as far as I've been here, there's never been a set plan for the year ahead. We're going to spend it on this, and this, and then it's just not been spent. It's always been at the discretion of the town centre manager, as far as I'm aware. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, there's the town centre manager's budget within reason. So it still means that anything over 5,000 has to come to committee, and anything over 500 needs my approval.
In fact, I think I would be correct in saying that some councillors, including myself in the past, and Nick, you might remember, have complained about having not enough input, because in the past, because, you know, of that, when actually now that's how it works properly, and we all fully understand that.
Councillor Riceman.
The figures for the that went to finance on the whatever it was previous finance meeting are the same. The heading is the same. I was wondering if the figures were incorrect as well as the column heading. But the column heading is correct on the finance, but the figures are the same. And I was also speculating if some of the reduction in cost is going to be the fact that we reduce the officer time on town and community.
No, so that isn't yet showing in these ones. It will do in the management accounts, which are being which will go out tomorrow with the FSM agenda.
Okay.
Wouldn't that show in the salaries though, more than?
Yes, so that will show in the salaries.
It would, yes, that's true.
Well, that's the longest I've ever spent talking about budget in a town community.
Ever?
Yeah, anything actually, yeah.
I think in something we are under budget.
Yeah, and it's great, because I feel like we're getting still value for money, absolutely.
Thank you. Any further comments on the management accounts? I've seen none. Thank you. So item 9, the Christmas hut hire, to consider the hiring at Baiting the Hartsbury proposed. It says week long, but I think it's 2 weeks long, Christmas market, December 2024. Which I think is a marvellous idea, and I heard from one of the pub landlords, they would be delighted if the Christmas fair went on all month, because they did very well out of it.
Yeah.
When the Christmas fair sort of wound up, all those extra people in town getting chilly, seeking refuge in local pubs, so it was working very well for bringing footfall, which is the point of it. Anybody want to comment on this one? Councillor Hinton?
Yeah, definitely. Nikki will remember, we went a few years ago, we actually went to look at an ice rink and a wheel, dare I say it. But while we were there looking at said ice rink and wheel, we happened to go to the Christmas market that was in the same city. And it was these kind of chalets, they were just absolutely stunning. And they're really flexible. I just think they're perfect. They're uniform, but you can make them individual to the business as well. They're really festive. I think they fit in so well with Henley. As long as we can still have the market around it, things like that, you know, the usual regular market, and they may themselves want to take up one of the parts for some of the time. I think they are a great idea. Yeah, I'm really supportive, and then having seen them in situ, and I just love that feel, that Christmas festival feel, and to have that in town and draw people here for weeks, our shops and restaurants can only benefit from. So
they had a load of them lit up nicely in High Wycombe, next to the mall, and that would really be good as well. So I can really picture it in him. Councillor Hoskins.
Yeah, I do think this is a very good idea. The question I have is, when do we start marketing it? And actually, what type of stores do we want in the marketplace? And how are we going to, well, clearly recruit, but actually perhaps decide if we don't like those stores?
It says somewhere in here that it will be curated by us, basically, on Henley Town Council.
3.3.
3.3.
and it'll spend some of that economic development budget.
Yeah, I'm about to point that out. Paul is solving the problem that
Yeah.
we've just spent 10 minutes discussing.
In terms of marketing, as soon as the money is approved, we can start ordering them, and then we can start really getting into the nuts and bolts of how it's going to work. So after this meeting is a good starting point, hopefully. What was the second part of the question?
How do you decide if you're happy
Yeah.
with the type of?
Yeah, so the idea is that in a long time in advance, way ahead of the actual event, we will have, so to go back a couple of steps, the maker space, which is in Nuffield, is a centre for crafting, gifting, artisan makers. And then another group called the Creative Duck, who are based in Henley. No, I put the two of those together, and we've had a meeting to talk about them helping us curate this. Because I don't know who the best gifting artisan artists, jewellery makers are, but they do. And I wanted the idea to be that people coming to the market will be able to buy things that they can't buy in the other shops in town, because it won't then tread on everyone's toes. And it will be
vapes.
yeah, Christmas ones.
Christmas vapes.
But yeah, so that's it's complementary to what we have in town. It's an attraction, and yeah, that's really the idea. There's the basic format will be very similar to what we have on a market day in terms of the layout. We'll make it well. We've done a kind of a broad strokes look at how that's going to work, and it's pretty much the same look as the market, but much nicer and prettier with lovely little huts. So yeah, I think it would be great if we could be able to try.
Second, Creative Duck, they're the company that were doing the little pop-up shops.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
They
A
were
couple of
really,
years
really
ago.
good.
Very popular.
They're a
Right.
collective, they're a collective
Yes.
of local artists and crafters and
And marketing,
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
marketeers as well.
That's Hunt.
unaccustomed as I am to talking about finance, and noting our recent discussion, but the Christmas market income you put down here is for 10 days, when the festival itself appears to be for 15. Is that the days that Met Festival will not be open, or?
Yeah, I did do it based on.
I thought it was 14 days.
Yeah, I should have put that as 14 days, so that might be slightly wrong.
It was 2 weeks because it was the 10th and the 24th.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if the income, we're only charging for 10 days. would it
It's
be-
either a typo or it's wrong.
The maths adds up to 10, the maths does add up to 10 days.
There
so-
appears to be plenty of room in the budget, so.
Cheaper than-
Yeah, it could be. It could be. The intention is for 24 days. This is basically what it's going to cost. 24 days, for 14 days, 2 weeks leading up to and then on Christmas Eve.
So actually,
That's the plan.
so we don't get an extra 40%.
So it would probably be 12 days because 2 of the days would be charter market.
There are, yeah.
So actually, does it also include any, it may be 10 days, I don't know if it also includes any craft market over weekend or something like that, which would reduce it.
Yeah,
So maybe there was a reason for the 10
Yeah.
days.
there was.
Okay.
The market days perhaps to
Yeah.
use them. I don't
I think so.
How's Hoskins?
One other question, one of the issues is that if it, depending upon whether it's 10 or 15 days, doesn't matter. But actually what you need is to ensure that the people who are manning the stall are going to be there all the time.
Yeah,
How are you going to require that to be the case?
well, that there will be a mixture of people who will be there every single day, and there'll be some who won't be able to do it every single day. And we'll try and curate it such that all the huts are full most of the time, and that, you know, if someone just wants to do the weekend or can only do the weekend, then we can accommodate them as well. It's going to be a lot of moving parts.
Okay.
That's why I've brought in the other two companies to help that curation, to make sure that it's all full most of the time or all of the time.
We also have our own markets manager as well, I'm sure,
Exactly.
can help curate the market.
Yeah, we do have connection now, so.
So right.
It is worth emphasising, and I'm not sure it came out completely clearly, that although the proposal that we have here is a cost of £14,000, about half of that's going to be covered by straightforward income from the rental of them. The town centre manager has shown it's got a good record of attracting sponsorship, so it may be that it's actually going to be cost neutral.
It could be. That's the intention. I haven't gone out to anyone with the proposal for sponsorship yet. But it could be a great one for a company to really own.
Yeah. So it's
Like Christmas.
certainly hope to see that, and that will reduce the extra hit. And this will need to go to finance, won't it?
That's the
You
question.
recommend to FSNA.
So yes, it's
Just
recommendation.
checking it's going to be on the agenda.
Yes, it will be.
Okay.
I'm not writing down my steps.
And I just wanted to just follow up on Councillor Hoskins' point. To what extent are we in control of the kind of stall that's going to be? But if someone is selling single-use vapes, do we have the right to veto?
I would say yes. We're the curators, and
Right.
when the products that are going to be on the stalls are going to be Christmas gifts. I'm not going to have vapes on there. That
Yeah.
isn't a Christmas gift that
Yeah.
I would want on the market, which, I'm proposing. So it will be gifting Christmas items, all very wholesome, nice stuff created by artisan in the area.
Yeah, I think it's unlikely that'd be a problem.
I think you're
Just
right.
to make sure that
Yeah.
we,
No,
as you say, when we're curating it, we're in control.
Yeah.
It's our market,
Yeah.
and
very similar to how we do with the other Christmas festival. We have a form. They have to tell us what products they're proposing, and
Great.
the same format.
okay, thanks.
So we have done a really good job in recent years of removing kind of undesirable products from the Christmas markets. Sure, we can do the same thing again.
I
Okay,
prefer the
good
ones with the
diet.
counters as well, by the way, I just think they look tidier with the counters.
Yes, I was just saying, going to say that having a strengthened environmental policy would underline the fact that single-use plastics such as vapes would not be allowed. So there's a really win-win situation here
Yeah.
about, curating the Christmas market to be, again, as environmentally sustainable as possible. That was the first point. The second point is that in the past, Henley Town Council and the Mayfair and different other kind of Christmas fair, I think we've been really generous to enable some local community groups to have a stall for free. So I just wonder if that could be perhaps integrated in
I don't
terms
see why
of
not.
It's not free.
of those.
No, it's
No,
not
they'll be
free, they
free.
just pay a lesser amount.
Okay,
There's
so
a different rate,
something,
yeah.
something to,
£15 fee for like challenge them.
yeah, so I think there could be an opportunity for some of those other emptier huts perhaps, if you haven't got
Yeah.
it, that'd be good.
The only thing I'd say with that is that for the Christmas festival, there aren't the overheads. Here, we do have the overheads of the huts, so.
Yeah.
So whereas we might be giving a reduced rate for Christmas festival, we're not losing any money. Whereas if we're reducing, then we are really subsidising.
Sure, yeah, I suppose as appropriate and if there's the opportunity. And I think my final point was just to highlight that, of course, with every agenda item and report, we look at the climate emergency. And I think I just want to understand a bit more about the use of silent run generators, which is being popped into the climate emergency section. Just around how the silent run generators reduce emissions. That's not entirely clear to me, the link between silent run generators, and I wonder if further research could be done around that.
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of work to be done, research into silent run generators. I'm not sure if they truly exist in the way people think.
Yeah.
Silent run generators are what they actually are. They're more maybe slightly quieter generators. But certainly happy to do a little bit of research.
Councillor Hinton.
Just to take both councillor Candide's points and the town clerks about these, potentially helping charities and it being lost. Perhaps when you're organising it and you're putting it up into days and what people can do, if there are any void days, then perhaps we could offer those for a much cheaper rate or for free to community groups, or perhaps the Kenton to promote the Panto at Christmas, or something like that. So perhaps on those days, so that it would be of minimal loss to us.
Yeah.
Okay, Councillor Hunt.
So can I propose that we adopt 5.1?
Yep. Second that from the chair. All those in favour? Thank you very much. And we are on to item 10 about Marsh Lock footbridge.
Who has the update?
Yeah, it has it. Verbal update. There's going to be a verbal update.
Yes, I can provide a small update on this. We have yet to hear anything substantive back from the Environment Agency, except for the fact that the person we originally thought was working on it is no longer working on it. We have heard from the office of our local MP. I'm not sure if I should be sharing that publicly at the moment, as in what the contents of that. They are engaged with it. And Councillor Garishak and I are continuing to try and put as much pressure as possible to get this reopened and sorted.
Councillor Rice.
Is Councillor Gavashak going through the county council as the
Yes, he's-
authority on footpaths?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good.
Good luck. Yes.
Yes. I do hope to see that open. I mean, the Thames Path from Henley has been particularly badly affected by these closures, with the closure at Temple and the closure at Marsh Lock. Means you can't look in either direction very far from Henley now.
Well, good, stay in Henley and spend all your money here.
Stay in Henley, spend your money here, but ultimately we'd like the Temple Path back, wouldn't we?
And we would like the people to come here from Marlow and Shiplake and elsewhere as well. Yes, you're right. But nobody has to walk in the other direction.
On my footpath, you go.
One way footpaths into Henley. This is a great idea.
I'll also just say that I think we should pass on as councillor our thanks to Colbert Forest Estate for allowing access to land for much longer than they ever anticipated.
Yes.
We understand why they feel the need to do this at this stage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fully agree
great.
with that, yeah. Okay.
Okay, great.
So that takes us to item 11, which is progress. Fantastic news. Bollard has been collected from Councillor Everton.
Oh, God.
Okay, anybody have any comments on progress reports? Councillor Kendall.
Yeah, just a big thank you. It's really encouraging about the repair cafe. So I think your advert in the Town Council newsletter seemed to have paid off by the sounds of it, or not sure. Be interested to know how that volunteer came about.
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately,
Shame.
I got in touch with the YMCA and they said they could do it on Sundays. And someone I met said they'd be happy to volunteer to help if if it was needed. So just two people came into my these two things came together in the last few days. We still don't have anyone to do any repairing, despite putting the word out and you know, social media, being in the newsletter, etc. We don't have the specialist fixers coming forward just yet. So another shout out to anyone who does want to volunteer. We have a space. We have someone who can help organise it. We need you.
No, yeah, no, but it's a really positive start, you know, that the YMCA have stepped forward and that the volunteers.
They have.
Do you by any chance know what the time frame is in terms of the Sundays? Is it just as and when needed?
They said that they're empty on Sundays, basically. So I think, you know, it could become a regular slot there,
Yeah.
you know, but it just needs the rest of it to come together for us to actually have something.
Sure. And do you know if the YMCA, are they charging for that?
I haven't got that far yet. I'm hoping not, as it's empty. Yeah.
We have space, we have a volunteer to organise it, so it feels like good progress.
Progress,
Good
really.
It is
Yeah.
progress,
Encouraging.
yeah, absolutely.
Councillor Hoskin, sorry.
Okay, it may be worthwhile contacting, Reading had a 7-day or at least 6-day a week repair cafe. And it may be worthwhile contacting them to find out who's involved, because for one day, they might find it's easy for them to just move across.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one.
We must have loads of local, you know, carpenters and you know, people that have perhaps have retired that have been fixing up cars and bikes and joinery and things like that.
You would think.
And yeah, absolutely. I'm sure there's loads of them in Henley. We just need to try and reach them somehow. I don't
Could
know
we
how.
perhaps advertise it via?
I think we have.
Newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
Can we do a special thing on that maybe, Lily? Do you think? Can't run that by Phil that we, you know, your town needs you. I think.
People.
Yeah, we've got loads of people that are really good with their hands, really, really clever artists and crafters and
When we
joiners,
tried this
vendors.
before, just before it was all set to go, just before lockdown, we had lots of people came forward. I don't know where they are now, but we had a meeting and it was totally surrounded by people who could do upholstery and could do, yeah, goodness knows where they are now. I just think it's the general thing, people are not volunteering, they're not coming
Yeah,
forward.
it's true.
And I don't know, it's just.
We're really not asking for much time, just a couple of hours, you know, when they can, if they can.
Yes, exactly, but the people are not coming forward and I don't really know why, but they're not. Yeah.
So don't want to get anyone too excited, but we do apparently have 10 new bins arriving this week. Is that still scheduled to happen this
Yeah.
week?
Imminently.
Imminently.
I can feel them coming over there.
These are single bins, like for like replacements of our current smaller.
That's
single
nice.
bins.
Not like-
Larger. but-
Larger, yeah.
Looking the same but larger.
Yeah,
Which
which is
is
more
one
than
outside cook.
I've been trying to, I actually contacted the scaffolding company and they don't know when they're going to finish. And I can't even remove them because we can't access it because there's a pole right in front of the door.
Scaffolding's been there forever.
Yeah, so they're doing more work as well, so it could go on for another 2 months.
Great stuff.
Great. Councillor Wiseman.
So they're arriving this week. When are they going to start being installed? I suppose it's the key question.
You can't spoil my fun, just making them pop up all over town.
Spot the new
Okay,
bit.
right.
Well, we'll know which ones they are, because they won't have loads of vape stickers
They'll
all
be
over them.
brand
Can we just like coat the top of them in something oily, to stop the stickers from sticking so much and ruining them straight away?
But you could, a peel off thing would be great.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that, exactly
It
like
doesn't
a
even-
clear, oh. Well, why would you get my hopes up and then tell me it doesn't exist? No, like is there not like a big clear sticker or something that we could just cut? The parks are really great with, they might have something in mind that,
Ruin our
don't know.
lovely
I'm just thinking, what can we do to prevent them, because they're really sticky, so when you take them off,
about-
it's gonna damage the bins.
So WI do permanent little woolen.
Well, I mean, you joke, but it's not a bad idea.
Could we perhaps split the bins, the 10 bins, between landfill and recycling?
The old ones.
One of the new ones.
The
I-
recycling bins are still being sought.
Yeah,
They're different.
These are different.
These are
These
the
are
general waste bins.
general waste.
We are increasing the recycling bin capacity by, what's that, 500%?
300
It's
or
huge.
something like that.
But those are the larger single, double and
Double
triple bins, and we
Exactly.
haven't got those yet. So
No.
these are just to replace the general wastes.
So perhaps
So
maybe
heritage.
until we have the new recycling bin, could we split these for that purpose?
No, we're not losing the old ones
Okay.
yet. The old ones will be in place until we get the new triple
Okay.
recycling. So we'll still have facility,
Okay.
but we'll just have new lovely green heritage bin.
Larger bins.
Larger.
Which the WI may or may not agree to.
The only problem is they have stubbing place on the top of the
They do.
cigarettes, and you probably don't want people stubbing
Oh.
the cigarettes out on
Well,
wood.
no.
That's true. Very good point.
It would be nice to see, this can't, like you said, when I mentioned it before, this is not unique to Henley, it's not a problem that we face alone. It would be interesting to see, perhaps even the town clerk through your town clerk association, what other towns might be doing to combat the issue.
I've had a look. There just isn't a solution that everyone's using yet.
No, it's like with graffiti, you can use anti-graffiti paint in some places, but because it's such a new problem,
Yeah. But hopefully it will go away in March or.
I do hope so, yeah.
To a larger extent.
By which point the top of our new bins will be silver with stickers.
They do come on.